Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. It really has been a mixed bag this morning. We're going to change lanes again. Now, insurance excess is one aspect of insurance that's, I think, probably least understood by consumers, and I can speak from experience. Sometimes the insurer's fault, as a lot of consumers get confused when it's time to claim due to incomprehensible T's and C's. So we are going to cut out all the jargon and all the nonsense and shed some light on what is insurance excess exactly and what we need to know to get the best from our insurer. And Christelle Coleman, insurance expert from Old Mutual, is here. Why did you laugh when I said insurance expert? Can anyone become an insurance expert? But you have achieved that level. Christelle, thank you so much for joining us. This is a confusing, and it's one of those where you're almost a little embarrassed to, and maybe this is part of the problem, because you want to act like you know exactly what you're talking about and that you've read all the fine print, and very often we don't read the fine print. We don't take the time to educate or empower ourselves, and that's when we get caught out, and the consequences can be quite dire when we're dealing with insurance. So I'm going to start with this question. Simply put, zero excess cover. What does that mean?
Well, basically it's an insurance policy where you don't have an excess. So you are covered 100% round up for all your claims. And you were saying now about, people are maybe a little bit embarrassed. I think it's like ostrich syndrome.
Yes,
South Africans are very good with that. So all we want to do is shop around for the cheapest premium. It's also, the main focus of all the advertising campaigns, save, save, save. But when things go wrong, then you find out you've got this, excess. And it's one of the reasons why we've decided to highlight this amazing benefit of having a zero excess and to make that choice.
It's a bit of a game changer, really. Why do we have to pay an excess when submitting a claim, especially when we have sometimes some pretty high monthly premiums?
Yeah. So insurance companies have got a duty to manage the insurance premiums to be as competitive as possible. And the basic principle of insurance is the contributions of the many to a pool to pay the claims of a few. So we have to make sure that we manage the level of claims that we pay out. Otherwise, insurance premiums will just go up and up and up. So one way that we manage it is to have these excesses, so the first portion of the claim, to bring the premium down.
Can I, as an option, if I want to pay more into my premium to reduce or remove my excess?
That's actually the complete basis of it. So you pay a little bit more premium and you take away your excess altogether, and then you're covered from zero, and you don't have to. And it's actually, if you think about it, people, unless you've got a fund available where you can get your excess from, when things go wrong is when you expect it least. You're going through a traumatic experience, then you find out you've got this excess, and sometimes there's more than one excess that applies. And I want to just mention something. The FSCA, which is the regulatory body that look after the insurance companies in the South African market, have actually recently started an exercise to look at all the excesses from all the different insurance companies. They're collating all this information because they are concerned about consumers being, you're really being, I don't want to say taken for a ride, but really finding out about problems at the time when they have a loss. So.
And I think it's exactly that. It's at a critical gateway where you're already going through something that in many cases can be quite traumatic. Yeah. And then you've got this added to that, and often you don't have those funds lying around. What do we need to be aware of when looking for the right insurance fit for ourselves, do you think?
First of all, don't just compare bottom line premium. You have to look at the cover that you get, and you have to look at the excesses. And if you know that you don't have additional funds available, shop around with insurance companies that can give you that option. So that at least, especially now, if you think about it, we're going into the season time. Motor car accidents are definitely going to increase.
It's going to spike massively, yeah.
And people are short of cash. We see that with all the economic indicators. So maybe just think about paying a little bit extra each month, and you know that you've got the full cover and no hidden excess.
And it might feel like a grudge purchase completely, I think, for most of us, like medical aid, like these things, until you need it.
Well, we live in South Africa. We live in a high crime environment. We live in high accident rates on the roads. We need insurance. It's a grudge purchase, but it's something that it's a necessity to help us.
So finally, maybe to wrap up, what are your recommendations in the insurance space?
Well, I think it's very important to shop around. Every year when your policy comes up for renewal, make sure that you shop around. Don't assume that direct is cheaper than with working with a broker. We have both in our stable in Old Mutual Insure. We've got a direct offering, and we work with brokers. Get a broker to shop around for you. You shop around, and then do your homework properly. Compare the benefits, compare the excesses, and don't just go with the cheapest premium that you can get your hands on.
And I suppose the nice thing about a broker is you can say to them upfront, look, this is what I'm willing to pay as an excess. This is what I can handle on a monthly basis, and they can help you shop around. You can feel a little less embarrassed to ask those questions.
You know, the last thing I want to say is, you know, it works like this in insurance as well. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
If you're insured with a reputable company like Old Mutual Insure, you look at your covers, you look at your excesses. When you have a claim, you will be assured that it will be paid out. So make sure that you do your homework properly.
You are an expert. I think you need to start putting that on your badge, even if it isn't the official title. But thank you so much, Christelle Coleman, joining us from Old Mutual. Hopefully now you'll feel a little less embarrassed. You'll take your head out of the sand and you'll educate yourself, empower yourself, as I said earlier, to ask the right questions at least and go shop around.
Don't pay twice for every... Get zero excess cover with Old Mutual Insure. SMS Insure to 31907 or speak to your broker to get a quote.